Welcome back to Smithers 100 Acre Woods. We're going to work on putting some siding up. So we did some router. We're doing kind of a lap. So the router, the first one, we'll work on getting it across. So he's going to go get the Milwaukee nailer so we can just put that up real quick. And we're just going to start at the bottom, work our way up. So right now we just got the first one done, so it's just kind of a test to see how this goes. So we're going to get this first one on, and then hopefully we'll be taking the rest of what we milled the last couple days, take it up, get it routed so that it has the grooves on each side so that it will lap, and put it up. So partly we like that look, but then also if there's any shrinkage, it will hide that and kind of have that for any lap that happens. So we're going to start, get across the bottom, and then start routering more and work our way up.
So I'll get up.
So here, since we're trying to cover a little bit of the block, hide a little bit of the inconsistencies we have there, so we're covering a little bit of block and then just measuring up from the bottom plate to have an even amount on the right hand side versus the left hand side, and then just kind of getting it tacked in one spot. So using that Milwaukee nailer, which is working out really well with some 2.5 inch nails. Get one side, measure the other side, and get it tacked in place. Then for most of these, we put about 3 nails in each stud. Probably overkill for a lot of this, but since we're putting up very green wood, we want to make sure that we don't get any warping, so figured that the more nails we put in, the less chance of it being able to really warp. So when I'm going through, that's why we're kind of excessive with some of the nails, and with that nailer though, it's not too bad to put up, so kind of a little bit of insurance hopefully to stop any warping from happening in the boards. This bottom, we have about 2 12-foot pieces go across our 24 feet. We end up staggering then. We end up having some 16-foot and some 8-foot pieces that we then kind of stagger. Like most things, you don't want all your seams to be in the same spot all the way up, so we kind of just alternate it back and forth. So you do have the seams that end up lining up, but they're kind of alternated between boards. That just helps make the entire structure a lot more sturdy, so that you're tying things together and not having all the seams in one spot. Okay, got that first one nailed up. Gonna move the party from up there. Now we kind of have a plan over here under cover and start doing the router bit for the rest of this. So we have all these here, and then we'll work on getting up what we can, and then that'll kind of then let us know how much more we need to cut to finish this. Okay, so here's a look at the router. So we just set up under the building here. It was kind of raining on and off throughout the day, so nice spot with some concrete that we can work and not get wet. So I believe this is called a riveting bit. So basically it's taking, you have it set for 1/2 inch, where it's taking out that much material, and then it's 1/2 inch deep, so you end up with that coverage. There you can kind of see it taking out, and then what it looks like in there, and just the fair amount of wood chips you get from removing that. and the big pieces of wood that just come flying out of there. Gonna get a little bit of a process going here, so he can work on routering while I put up the next board. So we kind of get a little bit ahead here, and then I can work on getting dimensions measured so he can cut. And once we get the initial couple nails in, he can help me hold and get it lined up, and then I can go through and put the rest of the nails in. So try to feed as many through the wall there as possible, just because we have quite a bit of stuff around the corner. And just going through, put nails in, and picking up the next one. This should be an 8-foot piece. You can see how we're kind of alternating that back and forth. So get about more than halfway up. Got about 4 more boards left. He's working on routering one. I'm getting him up. So be really close to being all the way up on this side, and then we'll have to work on the ends. So all these boards are ones that I was shown in the previous video and are all cut down from that tree that's just downhill from there. And this wood is less than a week old as far as it being cut, so it's very green, and you can even see part of it was under the trailer just because of how long it was. You can see the dry spots versus the wet spots because, like I mentioned earlier, it's raining off and on. You can kind of see throughout the video that there's raindrops on the lens, so it's one of those not a very nice day, but it was good for this. Look from the other side, getting stuff put up. Again, Dad was able to step inside step on the bottom plate and kind of hold stuff on the inside while I got nails on the outside. Our boards are just a little bit longer than 16 foot because we were able to get 2/8 out of each one. Be able to cut a little bit off the end just for the little bit of cheddar you have. And there's one thing to note, we didn't plane or joint any of these, so to look really close there are some gaps just from it not being perfectly straight, but for this we weren't super concerned with that. So while we had the long boards going and getting those put up, we got the front trim piece of wood on. So got it lined up with the end there. And then did like a 16 and an 8 to get that finished up. It's amazing how just that little piece of trim can really kind of tie things together, but it gives it that more complete look to the front. And then we go over to the wing wall, so this is the little bit bigger one. With everything, it was about 48 inches. So worked on getting stuff ripped there. We have a little piece that we used for we had the rip from the top, so just using everything we can. Again, kind of for structural and just the look of it, we kind of alternate the big pieces and the little pieces, and kind of help ties everything together. So you can see this is one of the pieces that we had taken off initially. We didn't remove the bark on just because of kind of the size of it. To run it through the mill, you would have ended up taking a lot more. So here we just use a chalk line, get some straight lines on it, and then use the circular saw to rip out what we need. So we just measure and get the most we can out of it. So on some of the pieces it was only about 5 inches, others were able to get close to 8. So we just got whatever we could out of it to maximize the amount of wood we could use from this tree. A new addition that you'll kind of notice a couple times in the video is a little Milwaukee blower. So we have the big one like for leaves. This one's nice. It doesn't move as much air, but it's a much more focused, so it has higher kind of wind speed. And it's really nice for blowing off the tools and blowing off all of this stuff because it's much more focused, so it does a better job. You can see it there sitting on the piece of wood on the right hand side. Very nice because it's handheld too, has a rubber tip so you can kind of just run it along the wood and get rid of all that additional dust. So I sped this up just a little bit, but here you can see getting the last of the boards put on across the top, or this side up to the top, and have this wall finished out. Then we do the same thing on this other wing wall. It's only about 32 inches. We ended up cutting it down so that we could sneak by with the sawmill since that control panel sticks out. And we were able to get most of the way up, and we have one piece left that we need to kind of cut down so we can finish utilizing it. And I have that in a later video, just getting it trimmed down to the inch so we don't have too much variation in the size when putting up the pieces. Do a quick wrap up for today. So we have gotten the back wall completely covered. So basically, as you saw in the video, we did where we put a notch in it and then lapped it so you could go like that. So we did get this wall also done on this end, and we got most of the way up over there, but have a little bit more to do. That section there, we have the board for it. It's just a little bit thicker than everything else, so next time we have the mill going, we're going to cut that down to 1 inch, and then we'll be able to finish it out. Take you around to the back here. So kind of see right now you kind of have some different colors going because we have some wet spots and dry spots, but this gets the entire back enclosed, and we'll see how this does, like with shrinkage and everything, just because it is wet. We just milled this less than a week ago, but it's nice to have this enclosed so you don't have any rain or anything coming in. And then we have the little wing walls, stop that also. So also we have 3 lights up, just 4-foot shop lights, and we have a couple of floodlights out the front to provide light working in this area if you're using the tractor coming. So coming together pretty nicely. Like I said, have just that little bit left to do, and then that'll be it for the siding. And we did get the piece on the front here, that front trim, so it kind of finishes that up. And we're not going to go ahead and put one on the back just because relatively soon we're going to add on to the back and make a spot to store boards so that we don't have boards just sitting out in the weather. It'll be a spot that we can build racks in, and basically we'll take some of this dirt level down so that it's similar to this, come out, and then just extend this roof line back and make a spot to store boards. So that's why we're not going to kind of finish this off, because we'll be tying into it and extending it. And we did use all poplar for that. So that's from the tree that we cut down right there. So all the wood that was there has been used to make siding and the trim pieces. So that one tree was able to provide quite a bit of wood, and that back went up pretty quicker than we thought. We were able to split it and do some about 16-foot pieces and then 8-foot pieces, and it went up pretty quick. Thank you for watching these Schmitter's 100 Acre Woods. Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe. We'll catch you next time.